We really need to get whoever created that song on the show. I think this because now I hear that song every morning and it's ingrained in my head, and I don't think I could start the day off if I didn't actually hear it. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Digital Trends Live. Thanks for tuning in. However you're finding us, we really do appreciate it. Of course, we are live. I want to emphasize that. Live on Twitch, Periscope, Facebook, and YouTube, and of course at digitaltrends.com. And we want to hear your comments and your questions throughout today as we bring you up to date on the tech headlines and on some really, really great interviews that we have coming up. On the docket today, we're going to be joined in just a little bit by Laura Major of CyPhy, and that's CyPhy, to talk about drones that could fly forever. Tethered drones. She's going to be discussing that and what her company is doing. Some pretty cool things going on there. We have Kim Wetzel, of course, our smart home editor, who's going to be hopping on because today is National Package Protection Day. There's a day for everything, but it is National Package Protection Day, especially since we probably all ordered a whole bunch of stuff off of Amazon for Black Friday and Cyber Monday, and you're at work now and you're thinking, oh, are my packages safe? Well, worry about it because we're going to be talking about it. Coming up here in just a little bit, mine are probably already stolen. I can just assume that. Ben Lee of Rootstrap is going to be on the show. So Rootstrap kind of creating some unique apps and building brands. So Ben Lee is going to be hopping on to talk with us. And today here in studio to start the show off, I'm Greg Nibbler and joined now with Marie Pardo-Garber. Hello, Marie.
Hi, Greg.
How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Sorry about your packages.
Yeah, I know. Well, the problem is I live near a high school, and those kids steal things from me all the time. So basically, I'm the old man on the porch, like yelling at them to get off my lawn, and yeah, they leave their pizza boxes on there. It's a real issue for me.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a real hot button issue that we'll talk about here later. All right, we've got that. We do need to cover something from Monday's show. So Cyber Monday, we had a 3-hour long special, and I know a lot of you joined us for that entire 3 hours, and thank you for hopping in with us. And part of that, though, we were giving away a television. We had the Samsung 65-inch 4K UHD 8 Series Smart TV. And that's a $1,300 television where we asked 5 different questions throughout the show. And the person who answered all 5 questions correctly and emailed in first to dtlive@digitaltrends.com was going to be the winner. And we have the winner right now. And so I want to pull this up here just so we can take a look. I do have just a... Yeah, I had to do it. I had to do it because we didn't do it last time. The winner of the television is Larry Yang. Larry, congratulations. You win the television. There are a lot of jealous people here, and I believe it's going to get shipped out to you here at some point. I'm sure we'll be in touch with you to let you know. Larry Yang got all 5 questions correct and was the first one to email the correct answers in. Thanks to everybody, though, who participated. There were a lot of people who got the answers right. They just didn't hit send quick enough. That was the only issue. You got to hit send quick. So I'm seeing here now some comments are coming in here, so we'll address some of those here in a bit. Hello, Ezra. I see that Ezra's tuning in there. So we've got lots of things to discuss. Let's get on to the headline news, though. So let's talk about kind of the first story that I saw was trending this morning.
All right.
And it has to do with YouTube. YouTube original programming. And how many of you out there are subscribers to YouTube Premium? I personally don't know a lot of people. No. That doesn't mean there aren't a lot of you out there, and that's why we're asking, because some people are watching on YouTube right now. Yeah, are you a subscriber to YouTube Premium?
I'm not, no.
You're not, and that's, I think part of the issue is there are so many streaming services that are out there right now, so many to subscribe to. And we'll kind of get into talking about that, but the big news is this, is YouTube Premium, which for any confusion out there, and I think that it does take a little bit of clarification, there was YouTube Red, there was YouTube Premium, there's YouTube, excuse me, there's YouTube, let's see, YouTube Red, YouTube Premium, YouTube Music, there's Google Play Music, all of those different things. And it gets kind of confusing as far as which one is which. YouTube Premium was essentially supposed to encompass all of those. And part of that was the original programming.
Yes.
Original YouTube programming, things like Cobra Kai, and they also had one called Origin, and then several other ones that were also on there. And part of this is, of course, my voice is going out right now as I'm talking, Marie. Thank you. All right, so part of it is I'm trying to avoid whatever sickness is going around in here. So far, so good. So part of it is, with this new change is that YouTube is now supposedly going to be getting rid of their original programming will no longer be paid. You can actually watch it for free. So ad-supported original content.
Yes, and I think they were doing that just to bolster any kind of viewership that they might have had. I mean, maybe they'll decide to take it paid again in the future.
Right.
But for right now, opening it up to add videos widens their audience by a broad spectrum.
Yeah, I mean, and okay, I'm seeing some comments here. So Dax on YouTube. Of course, these are people coming through on YouTube. I'm on Red/Premium. Kashif says I am, but do not watch any originals. So what are you getting when you're subscribing, or what are you subscribing for? Is it for the music side, or where are you going? I mean, I've been wanting to watch Cobra Kai. It's been on my list. Cobra Kai is, you know, right in my vein, and I do want to see that, but I didn't want to pay $11.99. $11.99 a month is what you had to pay to watch it without ads. And I'm seeing even somebody from Digital Trends here commenting, saying $11.99 seems like a lot to remove ads. And it does, especially when other streaming services are, you know, you can get Netflix, I believe, for what, $9.99 right now?
I think they raised it a little bit,
but
it's about the same as
around the same, yeah, and a lot more original content on there. And I'm not saying that YouTube doesn't have some good original content, but I think that this idea of taking that and making it actually free with a little bit of ads, that's worth it to me.
I think so.
I'll watch a few ads. I mean, as long as it's not, you know, 20 minutes of ads for a 30-minute show. But if every 10 minutes or so you got to watch a couple of ads, I think that's fair.
I do too.
So would you, like, how many streaming services, let's talk about this. How many streaming services do you subscribe to now?
Ooh,
if you had to list them out.
Let's see. I've got Amazon, Google Play.
Oh, so you do subscribe to Google Play?
I do have Google Play, but I don't have the YouTube ad list.
So what do you get with Google Play, with your subscription on there?
Music.
Okay.
And
do you get any video content with that?
I think I can play videos when my phone is locked.
Okay. But that's about
it. Okay. There's separate services. They used to have a subscription where you could get YouTube Red with a subscription to Google Play. But I don't believe they have that anymore.
So you're subscribed to Google Play, and then you've got Amazon, and then what else? You have Netflix, I'm assuming.
I've got Netflix.
I feel like everybody's got Netflix when you list them all out.
Yeah, HBO Now, Plex. So I've got a few out there, and to add another one in just to get ad-free
would be a lot.
It would be a lot, and that's also, I don't have Hulu because I don't want to have to pay for ad-free.
Yeah, and again, I'm seeing, you know, a lot of comments that see Dax says, oh, new people have to pay more, talking about just the different pricing levels. I think about Netflix as far as where that's at, and that's kind of what it comes down to is how many do we want to subscribe to. You know, a lot of people cut cable. I believe actually there were some statistics on this. I'll pull that up. It's just about how many people are cutting cable. I personally just cut cable myself.
Really?
I still had cable. Yeah, mainly because of sports. If you're here in the Portland area to watch the Blazers, it's this weird deal where Comcast kind of has a monopoly on it for the most part. So, but that's just for local stuff. So they kept me subscribing because of that. But now I'm just like, you know what? I'm cutting it all together.
Yeah, especially with ESPN teasing their own streaming service.
ESPN's streaming service. You've got everybody wants to come up with their own streaming service and original content. So there's all the different streaming services. And again, let us know, you know, how many you're subscribing to. But when it comes to the original content side of things, everybody wants original content too. And that's where YouTube was kind of faltering a little bit on this. You know, Apple, I believe, is investing $1 billion in original content, which sounds like a lot of money, but really when it comes down to it now, it's not that much.
For Apple especially.
Yeah.
It's not.
And they've signed on some pretty big actors, but then you also have Disney's streaming service coming out, and that's going to be a huge one that I think is going to siphon away people from other streaming services.
And, you know, if people are predicting that Disney moving away from Netflix will be a huge hit to Netflix, for YouTube just trying to break into the industry,
right?
It's going to be really interesting to see if they're able to persevere through all of that.
Yeah, if YouTube will be. I mean, I think with YouTube, I mean, as far as they'll still have a lot of viewers because I mean they've got I believe it's almost 2 billion people that use YouTube. That could be wrong. That number sounds ridiculous when I say it out loud, but I actually do think it's a lot. It's a lot of people have been on YouTube.
I watch YouTube daily.
Yeah.
But to pay for the ad-free originals and streaming, that I'm not quite sure if I'm ready to take that.
Yeah, to where you'd be going there. All right, well, I'll take a look here if that was right. I said that number out loud, and I'm just like, there's no way that can possibly be true. But no, yeah, it's about 1.3 billion. 1.3 billion at least accounts. So who knows how many of those are active users, but regardless, that's a lot of people on YouTube. That's a lot of eyes to get to, and the fact that they weren't able to make this work, a subscription-based service, I think stick to what you do and use the ad thing, and that's what they're doing right now. So it launched about 8 months ago, and it sounds like 2019 is when this is going to switch, probably pretty quickly, and they'll just get rid of it, and then you'll have ad-supported content after that.
Yeah, but I mean, good on them for trying to adapt and trying new things.
Right.
I think that's something that we need a little bit more of this day and age.
Well, that's where YouTube is at. So let us know, how you feel about that. If you watch the YouTube original content, how many services you subscribe to, or how many is too many when it comes down to it. Myself personally, I've got Amazon Prime. And then, maybe I borrow a Hulu subscription. Maybe I borrow a Netflix. Got HBO, because that's what I think a lot I do. You spread it around.
You share.
A little bit. Yeah, you spread it around. And then I also have PlayStation View, which doesn't. I don't think there's any original content on there, but there's several different ones that are out there. But that's about the limit for me. I mean, there's not much more.
And I love
watch beyond that.
I love kind of the seediness of it. Like, I'll trade you an Amazon subscription for your Netflix one.
Right. It feels still like, when people used to borrow cable. Like, I knew a guy that worked for a cable company, and maybe back when you could do that. I mean, no names, and there's statute of limitations. Nobody can find me. But yeah, I mean, it kind of feels like that when you're like, hey, let's exchange passwords.
Yeah.
But, I think we all do it, so that makes it okay.
When you have that ex that just hasn't changed the password yet.
Probably just don't all admit it, so now all my subscriptions are canceled. So, all right, let's move on. Let's talk about our Read 'em and Weep segment, and this is the segment of the show where we take a look at the comments that have come through, some of the comments that have come through on our videos and on our different platforms over the last 24 hours or so, and they're always interesting. I don't know if anything will top the guy yesterday, Squirmy Bob. That's probably the best username I think I've ever seen. But let's see if anybody's got something that can top this. So we've got Richard Berman, regarding Samsung's foldable phone will be harder to buy and cost up to $2,500. That is a story that's at Digital Trends. That's the speculation, is that the foldable phone that they're going to be coming out with, might be $2,500.
Oh, man.
How much would you pay for a foldable phone?
Not $2,500.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure if I want a foldable phone yet.
Right. So $2,500, definitely not going to be that. Richard says, get 2 Galaxy S9s and tape them together. Much cheaper alternative. You know what? It's kind of true.
I'm sure somebody could come out with a case where you can just put the two phones together and you can bend it and do whatever you want with it.
Yeah, somehow hook them up. I'm sure there's a way you can have them working in concert together. Yeah, that makes sense.
There we go.
Smart. All right, Richard.
Solution.
All right, moving on. Let's take a look at our next one here. This is coming from Innocent Passage NVL regarding Digital Trends. Sopranos prequel movie, The Many Saints of Newark adds first cast member. All right, I want to ask you this. I asked Drew this yesterday about the Sopranos prequel movie. Did you watch The Sopranos?
Yes, I did.
Are you excited about a prequel movie?
I don't know. It's not going to be the same.
See, and that's where I think Drew is acting the same way. For me, I'm like any Sopranos that I can get.
I mean, yes, but then you have those good memories of The Sopranos and what a solid show it was.
Right.
I mean, I'll watch it. I'm going to watch it.
But this is what we're going to, I mean, this is like all we're going to get. And it's the prequel stories. Because this one, I did say it's going to be about Dickie Monticelli. So.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm going to watch it. I'll go into it with an open mind.
Okay.
Somewhat.
Well, here's what, then this may be part of the reason. So Innocent Passage says, I'd be happy with a Sopranos sequel that picks up with what happened or didn't when the guy in the members only jacket appeared. Yeah, the problem is, though, I don't think that's going to happen because,
well,
I mean, there's only one way they could handle that one. Because the James Gandolfini is not going to be coming back. So, I mean, that's just kind of where it's at.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the ending, over the years, I've become very comfortable with that ending. I'm like, how else were they going to end it? They had to have some way.
I've got closure, the closure that I'm okay with.
Right. So I think the prequel's a great idea. I may be the only one. I don't know. I'm still going to watch it like 4 times. So I'll make
yeah, for sure.
All right, let's go on to our next comment here that we've got from Canme George regarding Pixel Slate versus Microsoft Surface Pro 6. So we did this live review on here yesterday where we kind of compared the two. We had the brand new Pixel Slate, and Luke Larson's review is up at Digital Trends right now. You can take a look at that. But this has to do with our commentary on it as we were going through the show. And Cami says, I actually don't know why Google freely sends their products to the likes of you people to review, only to spit undue and unreal negativity on them. This puzzles me indeed. I don't think there was anything really negative we were talking about. We discussed the product and what the product is and who the product is marketed for.
And you know, you should be glad that Google sends their products out to a wide variety of people, because if you only get positive reinforcement, not saying that we didn't,
right,
but then how are you actually going to know whether it's a solid product or not?
Well, yeah, I mean, you have to give an honest review. I mean, I can't mean, you know, obviously very defensive about Google, and I think the review actually is a pretty solid review that Luke has up there, where he says it's a really good. I think he gave it 3.5 stars out of 5. But we have to be honest about the products, and not everybody wants to use Chrome OS. I mean, if I'm going to pay that, and that's what I was saying. I think my point yesterday. I'm like, if I'm going to pay $700. I want to be able to run the apps that I want to run. I want to be able to run my normal Windows programming. You know, for people who use Chrome OS, great. We're not telling you not to buy it. I mean,
no, and you know, still be excited about it. It's a great product. It really is. It might just not work for some people.
Yeah. Well, either way, Kimmy, duly noted. We will never say anything about Google again. All right, let's move on to the next one here. We got John Murray regarding The Walking Dead mid-season 9 trailer teases the return of Negan. Do you watch Walking Dead?
I stopped about season 4.
Okay, that's about when I stopped too. I stopped actually halfway through season 2 because I hated season 2, and then I picked it up at season 3, watched like another 3 or 4. Maybe another 3 seasons, and then I dropped off. John says the shark is jumping, talking about Negan. And I know who that is just because I see all the
on YouTube. I kind of go on and watch
the comedian from The Watchmen, and he's got a bat, and it's got barbed wire on it, and he does bad things. So, I mean, I know that. But John says the shark is jumping. I feel like the shark kind of jumped a while ago, but they keep on making the Walking Dead series.
It's still going.
And maybe I'm wrong. You know, maybe I mean, obviously there are a lot of fans out there. But that's where we're at.
You know, the show is all about perseverance. The show itself is all about perseverance.
Yeah.
Just continuing
it's just
on.
Gonna keep on going.
On and on.
How many zombies can there possibly be is my only question. Like, how long are they going to last?
I mean, until the show,
the
show keeps going.
Well, apparently forever. All right, let's take a look here at, hey, I think we've got a couple more. John Gonzalez regarding Amazon Fire TV Cube review. You need to dust, bro. Now I want to see this review to see what was going on. Who did the review? Do you know? Was it Caleb or Ryan? Probably one of the two of them.
One of those two, and I really want to see this now.
Yeah, see what the dusting issue was there. So, Jonathan, we will get to the bottom of this. There will be a company-wide meeting that will get to the bottom of who didn't dust.
I'll send out a memo.
Yeah. If we can get everybody involved on that, I think we'll probably have an all-hands meeting right after this to talk about the dusting issue. So, we'll get down to that. You need to dust, bro. All right. Let's see. Do we have one? Okay, we got another one right here. Michael Burbo. Fans want Bethesda to pay tribute to Grandma Shirley in The Elder Scrolls 6. Doesn't look like Bethesda is talking to nor listening to their fans anymore if FO76 is any example. Do you know what this means?
Yeah. Fallout.
I don't know what this means.
Yes, and there's a lot of disappointment around Fallout 76.
Is Grandma the one in Fallout New Vegas?
I think so.
Okay, the mutant?
It's been a long
You're our
long
expert
time
here.
for me.
I'm putting it all on you, Marie. So you could just make something up right now, and I'll believe it.
I'll get fact-checked very quickly.
You'll get fact-checked.
Very hard. I will be the
tomorrow.
next to read them and weep.
Yeah, you'll absolutely. There'll be a comment about you tomorrow. But Fallout 76, do you play it?
I held off because I really wanted to see the reviews because it was such a hyped game. Everyone was so excited for it, and it's kind of fallen flat. At least from what I'm getting from the reviews and from talking to people here, and I think Michael is right. You know, it doesn't sound like Bethesda is really listening to what their fans want. They're just thinking about what they want to push out, and it's not aligning anymore.
I have seen a lot of comments about it. This does seem to be. I think you're kind of right on that as far as the general opinion. Obviously, they want more Grandma Shirley. Whoever it is, I just want to know what the character Grandma Shirley is because I love the name already. But yeah, I would be disappointed if if Grandma Shirley wasn't in there. Yeah. I think that's the bottom line of what we just
bring back Grandma Shirley.
All right, well, there we go. We've got some more headlines. We might be able to get to some of those later, but we have so much to cover today on Digital Trends Live. Marie, thank you for hopping in here
for
the headlines. And just to tell you, coming up here on the show in a few, it is National Package Protection Day. Kim Wetzel, our smart home editor, is going to be in here to talk about what you can do to protect your packages. But right now, we have a very special interview with you. Joining us via Zoom, we have Laura Major, who is the CTO of CyPhy. And CyPhy makes some really amazing drones, some drone products. I want to have Laura, though, explain this all to us. Laura, hello. Thanks for joining Digital Trends Live.
Hi, Greg. Thanks for having me.
So I want to ask you, maybe you can walk us through what CyPhy does. I've been reading all about it this morning, but I want to kind of give our viewers the overview from your point of view.
Yes, absolutely. So yeah, we are the pioneer in tethered drones. And so what that means is we have a cable, a very small, thin cable, kind of like a headphone cable, that connects the drone to a ground station. And that provides continuous power to the drone. So most drones are limited by the battery on board, and they can only fly for anywhere from 10 minutes to, upwards of 20, 25 minutes. Our system can stay in the air continuously for hours, even for days. Our longest flight was around 200 hours, so went on for many days at a time of continuous flight.
I think that's. Also, oh, go ahead.
Just also all the communications happen over the tether as well. So both the command and control of the vehicle and the video down from the vehicle comes over the tether as well. So it's immune to any type of interception.
I think that's absolutely, that's true. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, as far as you're not beaming over, the actual video feed to anywhere, it's directly connected. I can see a lot of advantages of that, especially talking about the battery life, being able to fly for that long, because the batteries on drones, that's one thing that doesn't seem to have really improved a ton over time. I mean, you're usually limited, I think, like a half hour is probably about the max, at least that I've seen. Maybe there's some other ones out there that will last longer than that. But being tethered, my first question just about this before we go more in depth in the products is, how long is the tether?
So we can go up to 400 feet.
Okay.
So our tether length supports that. It is a little longer, to deal with winds and whatnot. But we set our maximum altitude at 400 feet based on the FAA regulations. We've flown with longer tethers, so we have gone up to 1,000 feet actually in the past during the product development. But we then retuned everything down to the 400 feet because of, again, fitting into the FAA regulations.
Okay, so 400 feet, that's still a long ways. Yeah, I mean, you can go a long ways on 400 feet. With me, you probably wouldn't want me flying it anywhere near trees because I would already ruin it in a second, but that's why I'm not flying them. So you've got the up to a 400-foot tether. Like, what kind of applications do you see this being used for?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so there are a few key applications that it's used for right now. So one is security. So if you want to be able to have monitor an area for a period of time, but you don't have a tower or another location where you can put a camera, you can just have our drone there, the park system, launch it and have eyes in the sky immediately. So we recently supported the Boston Marathon, for instance, where the emergency management response wanted to be able to monitor the crowd flow and kind of provide real-time information to the folks on the ground there. So that's one. Another big one is communications. So being able to launch basically the antenna or the cell capability up into the air at up to 400 feet, you can now extend and really create a communication network on the fly, an ad hoc communication network.
Like, how do you mean by that with an ad hoc communication network? Like, actually use that as the hub to beam out?
That's right.
Wow. Okay.
Right. Yes. Mm-hmm.
I can definitely see that, especially in like a security situation or an emergency. Say there's some kind of an emergency situation where cell lines are down and you need to get that. Yeah, and you can park it up there.
So that's right. In a disaster situation, for instance, where all your infrastructure is wiped out, again, you can bring in a park and launch it and have it, stand up a communications infrastructure immediately.
Wow. And so you've been using this in these different kinds of situations.
That's right.
As it goes along. So, and you said maximum flying time, I mean, really is forever. I mean, as long as there's a power source and,
will last. That's right. The motors will last.
Yeah, and the components, hold up. So how big can you make how big are your drones?
So they are about 4 feet in diameter today, and Park holds up to 6 pounds of payload. So it carries a camera and or radios. It can carry multiple payloads at a time, but it can hold up to 6 pounds and carry that up to the 400-foot limit.
Nice. Question coming in here on Facebook. I just saw Joe ask, can you chain them together and have multiple drones chained together?
Physically chained? No, we don't do that. But you can connect them over a flight network.
Okay.
Yes, and be able to share data or control multiple drones from a single location, but not physically. We haven't experimented with that yet.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why you would, but figured I would ask the question since it was in there. So a couple other questions here that I had too, just about the product. Like, so you see it obviously for the security issues, for communication issues. What other commercial applications are there for these?
Another one is emergency response. So for industrial locations, especially if there's a fire that breaks out, being able to get eyes on the situation and really understand the source of that fire quickly is very important. And so we've had a number of customers who purchased Park systems as a part of their emergency response kit so that they have it available and ready to go. Again, the system only takes about 5 or 10 minutes to set up and have it at 400 feet, so they can very quickly respond when there is if there is a disaster on their facility. And
you probably, I'm assuming you can probably park it up there. You don't have to have somebody constantly monitoring it, like you would with a normal drone, and have to worry about all that.
It's fully autonomous. The system, the operator just sets the altitude and hits go, and it goes up and holds position and stays there without any operator input.
That's really cool. Well, as the CTO, where do you find your inspiration for going forward? Like, what are you looking at? What do you pay attention to when it comes to designing these drones?
Yeah, so I mean, we're looking at being able to support mobile missions. So right now, the system goes up and holds one single location, but there's been a lot of interest of, could we put the ground station on a vehicle and drive it away and have the air vehicle follow it?
Yeah.
Or even on a ground robot in the future. So we've been working on that capability, and that's something that we're getting close to being ready to provide to users. Also, looking at other size vehicles, smaller vehicles, where you could take this capability into other environments. So I think, again, this idea of being able to have persistent, so you can fly continuously without that limitation, I think opens up a lot of opportunities. And again, adding in the intelligence, the autonomy, being able to pull that data, bring that to the user without having them, needing to control the system or interact in a flight sort of capacity, but really be able to focus on the data that's coming down from the drone. When you have something in the air for so many hours at a time, you really want the operator looking at just the result of that mission, not having to pay attention to every second of the flight. Especially if you're in an emergency,
an emergency situation or something like that. Security, you don't want to waste your time, if possible, on that. And talking to that kind of point, you mentioned the autonomy is a big part of it. How much do you incorporate AI into this? Is AI something you're going to start using more and more, or what do you use currently with it?
Yeah, so certainly we're moving towards AI in a number of capacities. So we're looking at a lot of adding in perception, fusing across many different sensors on board, being able to have autonomous, many autonomous behaviors. We have autonomous behaviors today, but now taking it to the next level of, can you now start to detect areas of interest and manage your flight path based on that information. So that's what we're looking at is pulling those two together, the onboard autonomy with the being able to detect and identify areas of interest, whether that's again a source within a fire or whether that's someone coming into a crowd that you don't want there, and being able to go collect more data about that without having to bother the operator, and again just provide the key information back to the operator.
That is actually really interesting, an interesting use of AI, to have that. I guess I'm kind of imagining it kind of like you said, park it up there, say it's at a big event, you're at the Super Bowl or something, and there's something happening in a section that maybe security doesn't see, and it can just immediately alert, like there's something wrong over here.
That's right. So really turn the vehicle into a teammate. for the operator. So forward, eyes ahead, where they don't have to think about it. They just get an alert back from their team member when there's something of interest.
Very cool. Well, and again, it's CyPhy, CYPHY. And where can people go to find more information about your products and follow up with everything that you're doing?
Yeah, so we have a website, cyphyworks.com. That's probably the premier place to go. We're also have presence on social media, Twitter, Facebook, and all the typical places.
All the usual ones, yeah.
Yeah, on our website.
Well, Laura, thank you so much for hopping in with us today, too. I mean, really appreciate it, learning more about this product and CyPhy and the tethered drones. And you can follow up and watch this section again. Go check out their website right here on Digital Trends Live. Thank you, Laura, for joining us. All right, we need to take a quick break, and we're going to take a break, and then we're going to come back here in a second with Kim Wetzel, our smart home editor, because it's National Package Protection Day. Are your packages protected? What can you do to protect your packages? How can you incorporate smart homes to help that? And we're going to discuss that with Kim here in just a minute to walk through some tips and tricks for you. Stay tuned. Drop your comments or questions in. We'll be back in a minute with more Digital Trends Live. Welcome back to Digital Trends Live, broadcasting across our different social media platforms right now, YouTube, Facebook, Periscope, and Twitch. Drop in your comments, your questions. Let us know what you want to discuss. And this subject is actually really important to me because I have had packages stolen off of my front porch. Who hasn't? There are ways that you can help prevent that because today is actually National Package Protection Day. There's a day for everything. This is it. And I'm Greg Nibbler here, joined now by Kim Wetzel, our smart home editor. Hello, Kim.
Hi, how are you?
Doing well. I mean, this
Good.
is perfectly timed. It makes sense since everybody ordered a bunch of stuff off of, or probably ordered a lot of stuff off of Amazon.
Amazon mostly, yeah.
Cyber Monday and Black Friday, and now everything's getting delivered.
Yes, I read that like something in the neighborhood of like 30 million packages just from Amazon alone for Black Friday and Cyber Monday. Yeah, so
it's like a field day. If you were a thief, this is your Christmas.
Right? Well, it's everyone's Christmas, but yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it is. It's a problem. I don't know. You've had packages.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
And yet I keep having them delivered, and I shouldn't be saying this out loud probably. I haven't done much to protect myself on that, so
well,
let's
talk about how you can do that.
So please help me, Kim. Please walk me through what I should be doing. So maybe we can walk through like some different tips and tricks in what you suggest.
Sure. So we're talking about tech here. So
yes, the tech side
there are obvious things you can do outside of tech. Like for example, do the delivery people for you just put the package right in the front, like
front, center. I'm like, what are you doing?
Yep, just advertising it basically to everybody.
Yeah, like it basically should just have a "Come Steal Me" sign on it.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, aside from
bell that
the
rings.
obvious, put a note out for the delivery person, please don't leave the package here, you know, we're talking about how tech can help. So. So, I mean, the biggest thing, the most obvious thing is to get yourself a security camera, right? There's so many outdoor security cameras, and a lot of them aren't expensive at all. Like this little guy right here, I don't know if you can really see him here, but this is the TP-Link Kosta Cam.
Okay.
It's $139, and it works well. It's got a magnetic base right here. This is one of you can mount it anywhere, high or low. This is just one of them. There's the Nest Cam. Ring has, you know, this is the Ring home security system, but they have, as part of their larger ecosystem, they have several security cams, both, you know, battery operated and wired, that can help you. And if you go to YouTube and type in like Ring security cam, like footage, you see so many people like being thwarted by, you know, by these security cameras because they either see it and run away, or because you can actually talk to the would-be thieves through the cameras and video doorbells too. You can see them just like, oh, sorry, and they run away. And there's some kind of funny ones, like the woman who broke her ankle trying to steal packages.
Yeah, I feel really bad for you on that one.
Yeah, that's kind of hard to.
I mean, that's kind of the dream, isn't it? To like catch somebody. I mean, for me, maybe I shouldn't be saying that, but for me, it's like catching them in the act, and you can actually do it. Yeah.
Yeah. Through an app on your phone, you can actually communicate with this person. So they camera service two, you know, they have kind of two different or even three different purposes. The first one is to thwart the Porch pirate in the first place. Like they're going to see the camera, they're going to go, oh no, I'm not even going there. Or
Porch pirate's a good term too.
Yeah, Porch pirate. That's or they will, you can, you know, talk to them and they'll put the package down and run. Or if for some reason you don't catch them, you have the footage. You can give the footage to the police. And how often have we seen it where, you know, the local news channels like, you know,
have you seen this man?
If you see this man, call police. Yeah.
Right.
So, so that's one way. There's also video doorbells.
Yeah, and this is actually something I was thinking about picking up, too. We're looking at some different footage here as we're talking about this of different people getting caught in the act thanks to this. So a video doorbell, there's, what are some of the best ones, and I guess what do they do?
It's similar to the video camera, except for they are located and they work as actual doorbells. So you can correspond via the video doorbell. You can see, you know, what's going on. And the best ones are definitely Ring is the one of the best. They have, I think, 4 different video doorbells now. They have the Ring Original, 2, Pro, and the Elite. The Nest Hello is also a very good one too. And there's all kinds of other ones coming on the market really soon.
I feel like Ring and Nest are the 2 names that I hear the most when it comes to it. And Ring, who did they, is it Amazon?
Yes.
Ring? Okay, yeah, I want to make sure I got that right.
Yes, they're now
and then Google
owned
purchased Nest.
Yes.
So,
you know.
Yeah, so you're right back into the Google and Amazon wars.
Right.
Okay, so a doorbell, that's another great way to do it. What would you suggest if you had to pick one or the other, the outside camera or the doorbell?
Oh, that's a good question. I
know there's a
actually
lot of factors.
don't have a video doorbell installed right now. We just have cameras. They both serve purposes. I mean, if you're looking for just one thing, the video doorbell might have a little bit more functionality to it.
Okay.
Because, you know, if somebody's ringing the doorbell, even if they don't ring the doorbell, excuse me, there's the motion alert you can get and sort of still be, you know, kind of aware of what's going on. And the original Ring, a video doorbell, I think is like $99.
So yeah,
it's really
that's not bad at
affordable.
all. Yeah,
it's really affordable.
Do you have to pay a subscription service after that?
For Ring, yes, there is a small monthly monitoring fee. I think they start at like $3 or $4 a month. So
okay, that's not too
bit
bad.
of a downside, but but you do, you know, Ring still makes you pay extra.
Okay. So you got the doorbell, you got the outside security camera. What are some other ways to protect your packages?
There's these fringe things. There's this thing called the Porch Pirate. Have you heard of it? No, sorry, Package Guard. Excuse me.
Package Guard?
Yeah, it's this little flat thing. I should have brought it in. I'm sorry, guys, but it's really I can't.
They can go to digitaltrends.com and look it up.
Yeah. It's this little pad that you put on your front porch, and it says place package here on it, and you place the package on it, and then if the delivery person does, and if somebody picks it up, an alarm goes off. and you get a notification to your phone. It's still in the crowdfunding stage.
Okay. They could still just run off, though, couldn't they?
Yeah.
If you had a camera, I guess that would...
Again, though, yeah.
All right, so...
it's enough probably of a deterrent for most people, I would think, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll let you know when we get the opportunity to test that one out.
What are some other ones that are on the market now that you can do? I know there's like the Amazon Key service if you want to just avoid...
The Amazon Key service is kind of a combination of Amazon, the Amazon Cloud Cam, and the ability to I think you have to have a specific lock. I think August. I can't. But in any case.
Oh yeah.
You give, or there's a code. So this is what happens. The person who delivers it, gets access to go inside your house to leave the packages inside. People who I've talked to have used it, love it.
I know Caleb here at Digital Trends, he uses it, right?
I don't know. There's a couple people here who have used it before. I wrote an op-ed saying I was creeped out by it, but now that, I'm getting all these packages, I'm like, it would be such a terrible thing to just have those packages sitting inside my house.
I mean, the more that we get stuff delivered, and especially everything's getting delivered right now, that kind of idea... I mean, it's weird letting somebody into your house, a stranger.
Right.
But at the same time, they're supposed to be verified, in theory. And there's also a camera noting when they go in and they leave.
Right.
If you add in that camera.
They're recording the transaction.
Yeah.
So if the delivery person decides to go berserk and start stealing stuff, you have footage of that at least.
Yeah. So you got the Amazon Key service, another one if you really want to go that full on board. And then any other suggestions that you would have for people trying to keep their packages like me from being stolen?
Well,
other than being there on the porch at all times.
You should just be looking out the window with binoculars.
Set up a lawn chair, and be watching it.
And yelling at the kids.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I will say one other thing about Ring is, and several other like Vivint, which is a whole home security system that you have to have installed.
Yeah, and that's what I've kind of debated on. And I have a home security system now. So there you go, in case anybody was planning on heading over to my house, but it doesn't protect my porch. So I was debating on whether getting this kind of a system, like a Ring system, where you kind of are in control of it yourself, or an actual security system.
Right. This security system kind of has both. You can get professional home monitoring, but yes,
Okay.
But you do have to pay a little extra per month. But you do with the professional systems too, where they come in and install it for you. It's really just up to your personal preference. If you already have a few like home security items, you might want to get like something like Ring, where you can set it up as you like, But there are companies like Vivint is probably the most current and popular. Like they come in and install everything for you, and you can pick from a whole selection of cameras, motion detectors. I don't believe they have a video doorbell, but they definitely, and they provide the home monitoring for you. And does everybody know what home monitoring means? That means
maybe just to clarify that.
Yeah, it means if something happens, they contact you. Like say a motion detector set off while you're not home, while your system is armed. They contact you. If they can't reach you, they call the police.
Yep.
And so you get that extra protection from law enforcement.
That's what I have right now too. Actually, So basically, an alarm will go off. Like somebody opens a door or something and it sets off the alarm. They'll try to call you. If they can't call you, they call the police. Police show up.
Yeah.
Which is really embarrassing if you accidentally set it off.
Yes.
And then you don't pay attention.
Yes, definitely.
Because I've driven off and not paid attention to my phone, and then I get a call from the police like, we're at your house and there's nothing going on here. I'm like, yep. Because I didn't pay attention. So yeah. But regardless, it's nice to know that opportunity is there if you do need it.
Yes.
So that's like the full-on home monitoring system.
Yeah. I will say with Ring, they also come with a neighbor. There's an app that you can actually share footage. So say you see some, creeper lurking on your front porch, doesn't take anything, but you can take that footage, and if you're connected with other, people on the app, you can show them that footage. You can send and receive.
Like, hey, this dude's in the neighborhood.
Yeah, this dude was creeping around my porch.
Yeah.
Last night, and so there are apps out there that can help you as well.
Cool. Well, this gives some good ideas on how to prevent the package thieving.
Yes, but none of this stuff prevents the UPS guy from not ringing the doorbell. Have you ever had that happen when you're not home and they just leave a package and it sits there for an hour and you don't even notice it?
I don't think I've ever had somebody ring the doorbell.
So annoying.
But yeah, I mean, and that's just kind of, I think, what we just have to get used to.
Yeah.
You know, because that's how it is.
They're in a hurry. I guess they can't push a button.
Well, you can check out everything that Kim's talking about at digitaltrends.com under the smart home section there. There's so many good articles under your category at Digital Trends. It's always fun to read about it and just see where things are going. Any other suggestions for people to follow? How can they follow you? What's the best Twitter handle for you?
Kim Dog.
Kim Dog.
D-O-G-G. D-O-double-G.
D-O-double-G.
Because I'm gangster or something.
Yeah, no. So there you heard it here first. Gangster Kim. You can Kim Dog, follow her on Twitter. Check out all of the articles on our smart home section. And Kim, thanks so much for hopping in here too. This was awesome. All right, we're going to take another quick break, and we're going to be joined here by Ben Lee in just a second to talk about Rootstrap and what he's doing to build brands and how that company is working. We're going to have him on here in just a moment. Stick around with Digital Trends Live, broadcasting live. So drop in your comments, your questions, everything that you want to talk about there under our social media channels, and we will get to those questions as well. So let's hop here. We're going to watch a quick video, and then we'll be right back with Ben here on Digital Trends Live. I love how that video had Kim Dog's theme song too, you know, right after we just got done having her on the show. All right, welcome back to Digital Trends Live, broadcasting live on Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, and Periscope. And part of our great show here that we bring you every day are some interviews. And we have Ben Lee. Ben was actually going to be on one of our very first shows. We had some difficulties. We brought him back now. We've got Ben joining us from Rootstrap. Hello, Ben.
Hey, thanks for having me this morning.
Thanks for hopping on. So Ben, let's talk about Rootstrap. What is it? Let's walk through the whole process, what you built with this, and then we'll get into talking about brand building and everything with that as well.
Sounds good. So Rootstrap's been around for the last 7 years. The model is really to act as a co-CTO or help innovators, industry leaders develop ideas. Some are technical people, some are non-technical, building an app for the first time, realize there is an opportunity in the market for, disruption and digitizing content, for example. So that's kind of what we do. We've had over 1,000 product launches since we've started. So, business is good. There's definitely demand. Everybody needs an app in some respect. And we try to get better and improve with every launch and release we do.
I think that's great because you're right. I mean, that's definitely a big thing if you're launching a product to have that technical know-how to know what you need to do when it comes to that side of it. It's too much. That's too much to know, and it's nice to have somebody to probably go to that would know how to handle that. How did you get started in this? Like, why did you want to launch this company?
Sure. A lot of it was raising several millions of dollars in real estate deals. 2008 happened, which forced me to pivot out of the career that I was in. So I learned front-end coding. I built a startup, launched one, sold one, got quartered into working into more enterprise software. For me, being able to work with hundreds of founders every single year, it gives you kind of social x-ray that you don't get to see through even a venture capital fund, because we're sort of the initial point of contact for people who want to develop ideas. And in some ways, hiring a company like me to tell you why you shouldn't build an app is sometimes more valuable and generates a bigger ROI, because the first thing that most people think nowadays in 2018 is, oh, I need to build an app, but maybe you need a website, or maybe you need a game, or maybe you need a lead generation form, or some other form of like an MVP. Right. So, I think getting to work with all, entrepreneurs from all walks of life, I think is what really inspires me.
I think that's a good point. Like maybe an app's further down the list of what you need as a company rather than jumping right in. And that's why it's nice to have, probably somebody that can be an expert to turn to. And you've worked with a lot of different brands. I mean, yeah. Like you said, so many different ones that have launched. Like, what have been some of the highlights that you've worked with so far?
Yeah, I think some of the work that we're really proud of is helping someone like Tony Robbins, who's probably one of the biggest motivational business coaches in the world. Yeah. And he had been struggling to build an app for 6 years. So he had worked with, multiple different teams and vendors, was building an app for like over 1.5 years when we met him. So we really injected our process, taught them sort of the agile way, helped them transform their development and IT culture, and launch their app in 13 weeks. So taking 39 years of his content, distilling it into an app in 13 weeks was really a fun challenge. We do work with Google. We do work with startups like Masterclass, where we play kind of an extension of their team. Good talent is hard to find in 2018. Talent is globalized, so it doesn't matter if developers are in Argentina or Uruguay or Russia. If the talent is good, there's going to be jobs and there's going to be needs for it. I think in terms of professional services, it's also really exciting because most people don't really know what to expect in the next 2 years. With AI and all these things that are happening, the need for talent is getting higher, and there's sometimes hard to maintain these cultures internally. Everyone thinks it's as easy as hiring 2 developers and having them run in your office. It's not that easy. You really need to transform the way you do business in order to support engineering teams, and that could take a while. So that's why for many brands, large and small, it makes sense to trust a team like ours who've done a lot of that heavy lifting in terms of developing that engineering culture and know-how.
It probably helps too. I mean, just to because you're right. I mean, we don't really know where things are going in the next couple of years. It seems like every few months something else is different. So to maintain that agility, to be able to adapt to what has the changes as they come, would be a great advantage, probably for any company or brand. Let's talk about Neon Roots and that, and let's talk about maybe just how you build a brand. Maybe we'll go from that, like just from the base level. How do you build a brand? What's like some tips and tricks?
So you're going to probably think this is funny, and this is if any of my clients are listening or tuning in, they'll remember and hear me say this often. But when you're building a product, when you're building an app, branding is the least important thing. It really is secondary. It's why we try not to waste too much time in the beginning stages, because it's really about finding product market fit. Nobody really gives, they don't care about what the name is until there's brand equity developed. They want to know, is this going to make my life easier? How is it going to deliver value? Is it a cheaper alternative than what competitors are doing currently? So we try to eliminate the branding exercises until a product has been validated. Then it works. Then it's worth going through those exercises of, picking out your favorite animal and mascots and things that are sometimes very subjective when building a brand. That really investment can only be made, though, again, once you've found product market fit for an app you're building, which means that you've got something that there is a need for, and the problems you're solving, and you can scale those solutions rather. So I would say that's really it should be step 2 or step 3 for any entrepreneur in the roadmap, not to waste too much time on it. Once you're building a brand, figuring out the easiest way to connect to your audience is the key thing. Everybody talks about, social media influencers and, social media in general. And while those things are great, oftentimes there's just too many vanity metrics tied to them, and they're not really translating to ROI or, an authentic voice to say, So what I like to do is stick with something as simple as email marketing. Really? Email marketing gives you a direct channel. Algorithms won't affect it. Your brand or your voice won't get sort of twist and turned by comments and other issues that social media sometimes create. So building a list starting with 100 people and growing that is sometimes the best way to just get the word out and start testing new ideas. That's a great idea, actually, just kind of going back to that base level of that. So say, a company wants to come to Rootstrap, what should they have in place before coming to you? What would you ideally have in place? So believe it or not, one of the most important qualifiers for us in terms of determining if someone's going to be a good fit and we're going to be able to work with them is how the founders come together and how aligned they are. The idea and the vision is totally secondary because ideas evolve a million times once a product starts. I'm sure Uber's initial idea was very different than the execution when they launched their V1. Right. So finding the right team members who understand that, who are collaborative, who do inspire, who can agree on things, and most importantly, have one product owner. This is typically a founder or like a product manager who us as a development team, we're accountable to. Most of the time, 9 times out of 10, startups don't make that decision. There are too many founders. They're all stepping on each other's toes. There's too many cooks in the kitchen. So nobody knows who to take their marching orders from. So that's the prerequisite for us in terms of making sure you've decided within your organization who we're going to be working with and how that structure will work. And, making sure that you guys are going to be able to collaborate well, because this is, partnerships are no different than, marriage or other personal relationships. It takes time, and oftentimes there's a lot of tension and there's a lot of heat, especially when the pressure's on. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of pressure on it. I mean, this is somebody's baby that's becoming a product, and you're walking through it, and you need to be able to take the good and the bad and take suggestions or give suggestions where it's necessary. Asking you, just on a personal level, since you're involved in these apps so much, what app do you use the most right now? Good question. Blinkist, Amazon has been a big one with Cyber Monday. Just kind of, lurking on that. LinkedIn is definitely an important platform for me in terms of lead generation and business development. Headspace for yoga. What else do we got? LastPass for password management, Wunderlist for productivity. I could go on all day. But yeah, those are probably my go-tos. Nice. Well, Ben, thank you so much for hopping on here today to talk about this too. So what's the best way for people to follow you, and where should they go to find out more about what you do and what your company does? Yeah, probably the best way is check out my book. It's recently launched, first100.yobenlee.com. We made it to the front page of Hacker News. We've been trending at #2, also nice. Trending on Reddit. So it's free, download it, teaches you how to acquire your first 100 customers in any business, especially digital ones. And there's more information there on how to connect with me. And say the name again just one more time. So it's first100.yobenlee.com, YOBENLEE.com. Nice. First 100. Well, Ben, thank you so much for hopping on to talk about this. We really do appreciate it. And best of luck with everything. I'll be downloading the book to read it myself. Thanks so much. Appreciate it. Thanks, Ben. All right, and thank you, everyone, too, for tuning into Digital Trends Live. As we said, we're live here every weekday, 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern, bringing you the latest in tech headlines, some great interviews, some tips and tricks. Every day is a different show, and every day you can learn something new. So talking back at the beginning of the show, we're talking about YouTube making some of their original programming now going to be free, just ad-supported, and that's speculated that 2019 is when that's going to happen. We have Marie Pardo-Garber on talking about that. Then we were joined by Laura Major from CyPhy to talk about their tethered drones and some interesting things of that. Basically a drone that can fly for essentially forever, in theory, and talking about what they're doing with that. You can go back and take a look at that interview. We had Kim Wetzel on with some tips and tricks for National Package Protection Day. Protect your packages from the Porch Pirates. And she told us some different things that we can do with that. And then, of course, Ben Lee from Rootstrap to talk about creating apps and just entrepreneurship in general and where you need to start to build your brand. So we are live here every day.
as we said, we do enjoy you joining in. Hit that subscribe button. Hit subscribe. Wherever you're watching, hit subscribe. Make sure that you get all of our content that we put out. And you can read all about everything we brought up today at digitaltrends.com. Save that site. Go there, research whatever you want on tech. We've got articles on it. We've got people working tirelessly to bring you all the tech news. So, as usual, we will be back here tomorrow, live, 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern, with another edition of Digital Trends Live.